So speaking of people that have different layers to them, or that have different versions to them. You know that guy, Kagame? He's a Paul.
Kagame, the president of Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Oh,
Rwanda.
yeah.
Who's also allegedly a genocidist.
Yes.
Right? So Rwanda is now being this country that's been exalted for progressiveness.
Yeah, and how they changed after that massacre that happened there.
Progressiveness, good governance, all these good things that are happening in Rwanda. But the person who's the face and spearheading that narrative is Paul. Right? And every time that happens, people will always go back to the fact that he's responsible for so many atrocities.
Yeah.
Are those atrocities linked to the or is it something else?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, I think I stand to be corrected. He was on the side of the most massacred
tribe.
Yes, but then
ethnic group.
Yes, Abba. His ascendancy to the throne, he dethroned some.
Affected.
Violence.
With violence.
When he took over.
Yes, violence.
So he took over. Okay, yeah, and which led me to think that so we have a lot of figures in political history that carry two
dualities about the
brands. I mean, I think of Gaddafi. I think of Mugabe. I think of Fidel. I think of Vlad. I think of Kagame. Those are the only ones that I can think of at the top of the head. Actually, quite recently, Obama,
definitely.
Barack. He's the guy that sent drones to Syria, was dropping bombs on children.
Yes.
He's a president that killed Gaddafi.
Yeah.
And responsible for how that country is king. Libya.
Which is Libya. Yeah. So, can a person be a hero and a villain at the same time?
Sure.
Definitely.
He can.
Definitely.
And who decides?
And there isn't a more exemplary. How the fuck?
Exemplary.
Yeah, that's the fucking word. Than presidents to show that duality. Or you can be a hero to one. To show the duality between, or you can be a hero to one group and a fucking villain to the next. Like you can look at Trump too, bro. Like how the conservative American, looks at Trump, and then how the black Americans look at Trump.
Do you think that these individuals ever think about that?
Fuck.
Like when I'm about to send a drone to Syria and I know there's women and children.
Yeah.
There's women and children in that place, and I'm about to go drop a bomb because there's this most wanted terrorist.
Yeah.
In that vicinity.
Yeah.
It must be so fucking.
Do I think about what that means for me and my legacy, and the children in your home?
Yeah.
Never keep water. Sometimes aren't we sometimes so far removed, from the violence that we see, or even that we, not necessarily violence, but even when you're sending out, negative energies out, are we ever cognizant of how it relates to the other person? I'm gonna just using the example, when I'm tweeting a shit on something like Casper, right, and I'm spewing all of this hate, am I cognizant of how he will receive it sometimes? I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
In fact, told yourself that he won't even read it.
Yeah, he's so far removed from me. I'm not even giving it a second thought. Biggie Bozoga, sometimes even when you send out a drone to kill, women and children and other men in another country, there's no names to these faces.
I think when it comes to dualities, for me I'll make two distinctions. There is the personality and the contradictions about us as personalities. Then there is dualities of where we see one being the means to an end, right? So, like Paul Kagame saying, the duality, the one end of me being a villain or being a violent person is because I needed that to free the country. So I feel like it's justifiable. Then there's another duality that is inherent in who you are. So, for example, I am Nelson Mandela. I am deeply and truthfully passionate about liberation of black people. But I was also a greedy person. So, my being greedy, when I ascended to the throne, because now I had the purse, I could now feed the greedy part. And the two can coexist. Or, like, people like to bring this about Steve Biko too. I could be like, this person was fighting Mare Negrata Basari.
Yeah,
like society.
Like that he did.
Yes,
even Martin Luther, bro.
That I did. That nigga loved the skirt, bro.
Yeah, even Martin Luther.
Black consciousness skirt.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then,
Hey.
You see my point? I'm saying
that woke pussy, man. Yeah. Hey, slap different, man. It slaps a little different. You know what I'm saying?
The struggle pussy.
My nigga. It's what I'm saying.
So when I think about dualities, I think about the one where in terms of materialistic things, and then there are those around ethics. You know, for example, people would say, I don't expect somebody who's so passionate about people development to be corrupt. Right? Because we see today, like, Kabo Zuma, Kabo Mama, this guy, he did lay down his life. He did. When there was nothing to gain, he was willing to die. But there's other parts of him that when they got the liberation, he could now feed that other thing that he had no time to feed at the time.
To do back then.
Right? So now to think that, so when people every time people advance, there isn't, listen, with the corruption that's happening in South Africa, the way we reason it out as people, or our expectation that, you know, after this liberation, you guys have let us down. You've done this. And then we forget, or like, it's those dualities, right? But when you are in this position, it now gave you an opportunity, or even less fair. Because now you've got the enabler. You've got the power, you've got the money.
Yeah.
Now,
and you still care about the people.
And you still care about the people.
Yeah, and you still care about the people. So are you now gonna say you want to denounce my legacy of a freedom fighter on the basis of Kuzichelet?
Yeah, but that's what
on the basis of
or on
the basis of Girata, I am still a freedom fighter.
Yeah, but I love women.
And that's my legacy. You know? It's just that I happen to live in the world where being a womanizer is seen as a negative thing from a moral standpoint.
Yeah. And then people wanna then paint the brush over it, over your achievements.
So then, how do you guys feel about how we then treat people in our personal lives on that same scale? To say, she might have been the most amazing person to you.
She just gave it up once. Or maybe twice.
Maybe 100 times.
Okay. You're killing me.
Maybe 100 times. Does that take away from
who she was to you? Who she was to you.
Or even not just to you, to people in general.
Yeah, man.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it does.
It shouldn't. And the reason it does is because I don't think it's being lazy on our part. It's a lot of these things are, maybe it is lazy.
It is lazy.
Because in our thinking, like you were saying, we have this feeling that things should cancel each other out. Or they are mutually inclusive or exclusive.
Yeah, and they can be both.
I could actually, so I was making an example of somebody. See, somebody can have a disdain. Somebody can have a disdain for, let's say, the concept double slave queen. But I don't like this thing, whether it's from a cultural point of view, or whatever, or religious point of view. I don't believe in Tunyana as a slave queen or prostitution. But he can still indulge the services of a prostitute.
Word. Let me give you guys Let me give you guys another example. Like with R. Kelly, right? A lot of people were having, you know, the debate. Can you separate the artist
from the music?
From the person.
Okay.
But the homie got hits.
Yeah.
Right? And then now me just embracing him as the artist, just as the artist, not in what he does, in what he did in his personal life. Ebekare, you know, supporting one supports the other.
Which isn't necessarily the case.
Fuck him as a person. Yo, but that nigga made I Believe I Can Fly. I love that song.
I'm taking it back to the example I was using now. So somebody can have a disdain for this Slay Queen. Ne? But how come I sharp?
What?
It's sharp.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
But over at an ideological level, it doesn't mean he doesn't have a problem with it because of I could have an ideological problem with prostitution, but still engage the services of a prostitute.
How old you? I know.
Yeah.
Because, wait.
Because it's human contradictions. Like, for example, you know when Obama died, there was a thing.
When who died?
No.
Osama. Sorry, Osama.
I'm like, yo, what happened?
Listen to it. When Osama died, it could be propaganda, but let's take it was true. With a stash of condoms and porn.
Who? Osama. Oh yes,
you can Google it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yes, they said they found him with a stash of porn and condoms.
Yeah, and then I thought that was American propaganda.
Oh, you read that too?
Yeah, because he's a Muslim.
Yeah, fuck it.
And then he was fighting what he termed a religious war based on ethics. I hate American culture. So ideally, you would not expect somebody like that to indulge in porn because it's seen as it's seedy, it's a West thing, right? Yeah. And I'm saying he can be both.
I didn't believe it.
I can believe it.
Yes. I chose not to believe it.
But it just makes it worse if it comes from the Americans.
Yeah, I didn't believe
my point is that the person can be
It's like how Terre Blanche went out.
Yeah.
Terre Blanche hated black people but slept with them. Slept with them. Have you heard about how people...
Which could be propaganda too. I wasn't too quick to believe that as well.
I'm just saying if we take what came out in the public to be true, or somebody who would have... there was a politician in America who was a governor or something who hated, and maybe Lionel overcompensation, like he was the only state that didn't want to pass the gay laws. And then they found out undercover he sleeps with men.
Shit, bro.
But on the ideologically, he doesn't believe gay has to have the same platform as heterosexuality and whatnot.
Yeah, but what he does,
he's happy with it being underground.
So then, what does that say for? Because I feel like what we're talking about now touches so many spheres of society. What does that mean for how we interact with each other? And the things that we say to each other and the things we claim to stand behind?
Yeah.
You know, am I saying that, okay, Des advised me, Homfana, lifing huchuna solo, you know? And then Des goes and does something that speaks
opposite to that.
Yeah, you know, do I follow the words or do I follow the actions of the man? And am I mad at the man for having conveyed the initial message too?
Yeah, because the message could be true.
The message could be true.
But I'm a human. I'm flawed.
So how do I handle that? And the same goes for parents.
Yeah.
Fathers.
Especially our fucking parents. Especially our parents.
Do we throw away the gems?
Yeah.
Because of the actions of the messenger?
Yeah.
Or do we throw away the messenger and keep the gem?
Yeah. Because sometimes like the thing about being a child and growing up into adulthood is how you look at your parents. And now I feel like, for me, you know, growing up felt toward the more I grew up, the more I understood my parents.
The more you understood your parents.
Yeah. And understanding how flawed they are. You know what I'm saying?
But and you had to.
Yeah, I had to grow up to understand. Hey man, they flawed too because life is fucking.
Especially my time.
Yeah, especially my time. Yeah, especially my dad because I grew up like with a lot of, you know.
When you grew up with a thing, maybe the time I can separate mode.
Yeah.
Took you maybe when you started dating.
Yeah.
To understand the kind of.
Yeah, and then you find yourself kind of.
I love when he tells the stories about his pops, man.
Hey man, hey man, my dad being out here, bro. So the thing is that the more you grow up, like the more then you understand.
Yeah.
You know, and then I don't necessarily like fault him as much. because like life
as
happened.
much. You could still fault him, but
I
not
can still
as
fault
much.
him for the decisions he made, but
the question that you're asking, Moody's, and it's a human thing, unfortunately, when I let this way, their credibility. Sometimes the advice sounds like it's not credible if I don't see you practicing it, the person that was delivering it. So it's like, business advice. Even if what I'm saying is true.
Yeah.
The first thing you want to look at me and like, is this guy in a fucking position to be giving me business advice?
Are you living
or financial advice?
Are you living it?
But what I'm telling you is true. So what I'm saying is that the propensity to adopt the advice depends a lot on how the messenger is packaged.
It's like a personal trainer that's out of shape coming up to tell you that your form is wrong. Nigga, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
And
up,
right.
nigga. And he might be right.
Yeah, I hate that shit though. I'm like, nigga, I look better than you.
Yes, what I'm saying is that your propensity to be able to take his advice, how you get a conviction.
Yeah.
Because of,
Yeah.
Or happy, subconsciously what it tells you is that this man also doesn't believe what he's telling me. If he did, why didn't he make his life better by applying this knowledge?
But he had the same fucking knowledge.
So what it does then, it makes you either doubt it, okay, it sounds true, or you either doubt it or you like, it's true, but I have to accept that it's difficult, therefore I won't do it.
And that's how we get scammed. And that's how these forex motherfuckers get us. Because then they give you that look.
Yes.
They give you the look. They don't have the substance.
That's why
they give you the look.
Because then the message and the messenger, there's a match.
Yeah, and that's how we get scammed, bro.
There's a match.
Them niggas will get you, bro. You know, but the house is rented, the car is rented. You know what I'm saying? But you see him drive it when he comes to you. I told you about that fucking course that you need to go to. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, shit, man, this nigga's driving this shit. And one idea, you know what I'm saying? He's dressed in Gucci. You know, he's got the shit.
Fake Gucci.
Yeah. It could be fake too, you know? Yeah. And you see it and you're like, nah, it's gotta be it. It's gotta be
tried.
Hey, kanti unokile la man blind. Usontise cheleto we are the kosentsanyana tsamase para they got you, bro.
And happy about on
They got you.
Especially in relationship dynamics.
Uh-huh.
Say you cheat on somebody. The whole thing of presenting different versions or dualities. How about to nabbling in my corner and defend? Again now, I'm being hung out to dry.
Yeah.
Because because I cheated on you, what matters the most is that the version that must go out to the world is that I'm a cheat.
You are a cheater.
The man niggas is like, but man, this guy's good. He used to do this. We're now at in there. Because you feel like I can't be both. You feel like the other version, your version must cancel out the good version.
Yeah, but now it's tricky now when you talk about rape. It's tricky because sometimes it becomes tricky when that happens. You know, when a rape allegation comes out.
Yeah.
You know, so then the rape. You know, the victim then says this, and then and then wanna come out
rape
and
is
say,
a crime. That's different. Cheating is not a crime. So when it comes to rape, I understand because rape is a crime.
Alright. So
cheating is not a crime.
No. So the question I want to ask, is it okay for the other people not to say, or even question? Maybe you coming out as a victim, and then I say, but I don't think that's
good question.
I don't think that's possible because I know
good question.
That nigga.
Yeah.
That nigga wouldn't hurt a fly.
Without it sounding insensitive.
Without sounding it insensitive. Like I also want to defend my nigga. I want to defend my nigga.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know him. I don't know how he presented himself to you.
But your defense.
I think sometimes maybe the extent of the potential pain of the victim is such that
don't say it now.
It leaves no room for you to come in
to say it, to defend.
So your job in this entire, if you don't,
in private.
If defending him is insensitive, saying nothing is probably the best option.
Or support him in private.
Yeah.
Then bawfaka pressure mara sometimes. Like what happened to microwave boy niggas, right? You know, when those allegations came out about the homie. Who knows she with the other guys. Lying.
In fact, they did the same. Somebody said the same thing about Zayn today. You saw Zayn was wilding out?
Yeah, I saw.
Somebody said the gents don't call him out.
I didn't want to say shit.
Yeah, the thing with Zayn, bro.
I've had my personal interactions with the homie, right?
Yeah, me too. But the reason that I stay away from any of that drama is that because I know how erratic he is, I don't ever want to put myself in his line of fire.
Yeah.
Because once that happens, then I gotta act out of character to protect my name. So
for me, not speaking on it is not necessarily to defend. It's more of through my interactions and the opinion I've struck of him, you know, because for me,
in the personal interaction,
from
cool dude.
Yeah, from personal interaction, he's a cool dude, but you can tell, Hore, you know what I'm saying? Like he's dealing with some shit.
Okay.
He's dealing with some shit. Even through through those personal interactions. So when I see him wild out, I think it stems from these things that he's dealing with.
Okay.
Where what? So there's context. But now to talk about the context, but about the context that he hasn't chosen to put out doesn't make sense to me. So and I get told. Where what? But now Kutola Ibegare. It's defense.
Endorsing.
Endorsing.
And it's not necessarily that way.
That's why I have a problem sometimes with in criminal matters to have a court of public opinion and expectations of behavior about the people in the life of the person you are choosing.
You expect the mother to be there.
Because, and it goes back to the scenario, because now we know different versions. Everybody says, my husband will never kill a fly. Then this person says, your husband, forget a fly, rape me. So is it fair for me to say, call your husband out?
No. Hence, I always hate how I call your friends out. How am I going to call my friends out?
But I think what is wrong, you can now, as a wife, in the midst of this allegation,
say,
you are trying to gaslight the allegation.
Yeah, you can't.
Then
you can't.
Yes, I'm just saying,
Spencer, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Support them in private of your home. Don't be putting out statements in public media or people are jealous of our success.
Shut the fuck up.
And you support your husband. It's even with friends.
Yeah.
Don't be like, hey, when you know what next time say no.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
I'll support you until, because remember, and that's another thing diversions is that it's indirectly it's benefit of the doubt. So I'm saying I'm giving you Mudise as a benefit of the doubt that you're a good person until you prove me otherwise. So when Masipa Tlaka you're gonna write on that benefit of the doubt that you gave me unless you confess.
Yes. So I expect the general public to have the same thing. That's why when that thing happened with the microwave boys niggas, I wasn't now looking at the other two niggas. How say something. I wasn't looking for them to say.
They played to the gallery too.
Yeah. They were the last people I was looking.
They were the last, but they played to it because they were quick. Bansadi the statement. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I'm not expecting the homies to even say anything when it comes to that because there's a certain bias there. You know what I'm saying? So
even if there isn't, it just looks unbecoming.
It looks unbecoming, bro.
When you go out on a public platform, you speak against your man.
My nigga denounce you like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sure that nigga feeling froggy as fuck.
I'll feel hurt, bro.
Yeah, that shit would hurt me if you went out on a public platform to speak on my name.
My nigga.
Nah, bro.
My nigga.
And especially
as my man.
My nigga. I'll feel hurt, bro.
And especially as boys, you might find that sometimes just that now see they'll come in there. And for us to say,
and now because they're in the media space,
they're in the media space. Yeah. They're still hypocritical, right? Like if I knew, let's say I knew, right? Let's say I knew, but then so the statement as if
yeah.
Come on, say, but I think it's being hypocritical. It's PR, bro. Now fuck that shit.